Hello everyone. So let's start with today's session. First, we'll revise what we have covered in previous two sessions. So first session was about safe browsing, where we learned about that internet is full of valuable information, but not all websites are safe. And unsafe browsing can lead to data theft, scams, or device infections. After that, we learned about what are the signs or what are the indications that a website might not be a secure website or a safe website. So, what were these signs? Can anyone tell me? So, these signs were the padlock icon in the address bar and the HTTPS, where S stands for secure, and the domain check. That is, if there is a misspelled or misspelling mistake in the domain, that is an indication that the website we are visiting is not secure. After that, we learned about what are warning signs that we must not ignore of unsafe websites. First one is the pop-up of for asking personal information. Second is the too many ads and flashy download button. There will be no about us page and poor grammar will be there and there will be design errors. After that, we learned about browser cache, like what is browser cache and why it is important and how to clear them. So browser cache are basically temporary files that helps the websites to load faster. And by clearing it, it improves the speed and fixes loading error and protects the data on our shared devices. After that, we discussed about safe browsing practices like always logging out website after use and updating browsers that we use in our devices. We must not save passwords on public or shared computers and avoid suspicious free downloads. After that, we also learned about some social media browsing tips, such as we must use official websites and applications for browsing the social media, and we must not blindly click on real stories or the links present in the bios, and we must not interact with the you won a prize ads or surveys, and turning off autoplay also is in safe browsing practice. After that, we discussed about some mobile browser safety, which is preferring applications over browsers for social media, using incognito mode if browsing on a public computer or a shared device. Avoid entering password on or personal details on mobile browser pop-ups. So this was that we discussed in our module 3. After that, we discussed about the email and what are the signs that an email can be a phishing email. So we discussed about what are the common email threats like spam emails, phishing emails, malware attachments that are present in the emails, and then we discussed about what is the anatomy of phishing email, like how to find out that this email is a phishing email. So there were different signs such as the sender's email is not appropriate and the tone will sound urgent, and there will be suspicious link and not matching to the company's domain. There will be a lot of grammatical errors, and also there will be no footer information or unexpected attachments will be there in the email. And after that, we discussed about how to keep our inbox secure by using strong and unique password. So today we will be discussing about how to create strong passwords, right? And we also discussed about in previous session we also discussed about the filter and label of emails that the email service providers provide us, and we can use it to keep our inboxes secure. And we can also update our apps and browsers regularly to be protected from the known vulnerabilities. Uh, After that, we also discussed about some safe email practices that we must follow. Like we must not click on shortened links or suspicious links. We must copy them first and then paste it in a sandbox that Google or any search engine provides us, and go there and check by pasting the where these links are redirecting us. After that, only we must interact with these kind of emails. And we must not download unexpected attachments even from known contacts. Verify the sender's email address carefully and reporting phishing emails to email providers. And we must avoid public Wi-Fi's to access our email account. Now, moving on to our today's topic, which is creating strong password. Why creating strong password is necessary, and why do companies or it is always advised us to create strong passwords. Why is it important? So what happens is creating strong passwords will provide us an advantage. What happens for from a hacker's perspective is if they get access to your username or your email address, not the inbox but the email address, for example abc dot at the rate gmail.com. So if they get to know that only, what they'll try to do is they will try to create a list of probable passwords that that person or that we can set as our password, and then they will try each one of them with that email address that they found in by trying to log in. So if we have a weak password, such as you can see in the screen, like 123456, this is the most basic password that one person can keep, and they try to if they have set this as their password and the hacker tries to log in using this, they'll get access to it. To keep ourselves protected from these kind of dictionary attacks or brute force attacks, it is recommended to create a strong password. Now, passwords are the first line of defense in digital security. Weak or reused passwords make accounts vulnerable to attack. Password related breaches are one of the most common entry points for cyber criminals. In phishing attacks as well, what they try to get from us is our passwords. They'll create these websites that look like original and they'll ask us for our details like email address and password, which is a login details for our accounts. So passwords are fun first line of defense. And even if we unknowingly enter our details on that website and they have access to our credentials, if we have same password for our other four accounts, that will make them vulnerable too. What they'll do is they'll try to stuff those credentials into other four services and try to gain access to our different accounts as well. This will be the first thing that they'll try to access. Along with that account, they'll try to find how many accounts have the same credentials or same details for our accounts. So we must create strong password. Now, what are password do's and don'ts? First of all, we'll discuss about what we must not enter while creating a password. We must not use our personal information such as name, birthday, or pet's name. On these personal information basis, they create a list of potential passwords that we can keep. The most basic password a person can keep is our name, our birth date, or our pet's name, or our mother's name, or our father's name. So that is our personal information, and we must avoid using that as our password. Avoid using common passwords such as password and 123456. Don't reuse the same password across platforms. As I gave you an example recently, that what they'll do is once they get access to our credentials, they'll try to use those same credentials for different services. For example, let's say Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat and Gmail. If we have the same credentials for all these services, they'll try to stuff those credentials and try to gain access to our accounts. So if we have the same password across these all four platforms, they'll get access to that as well. So we must not reuse the same password across platforms. Avoid writing passwords on paper or saving in unsecure notes. So what people tend to do is they tend to write their passwords on a paper in a diary that is easily accessible to them and other people as well. So it is not safe to do that, because if someone else get access to that or someone else can read those passwords, that will not be good for our accounts and that will make our accounts vulnerable. Now, what to do and how to create a safe password. First of all, our password should be at least 12 characters. And why it is advised to create a password that is 12 characters long is because what happens is, so in this 12 characters password, 12 characters long password, there's maths involved. What happens is, if we have password for our 6 characters or 8 characters, computers process these characters or these combinations of characters. Let's say we have this sequence AAA for 6 times. Now computer can process it very fast, and it can process other combinations of these characters very fast. So if we increase the length of these characters and we add different things like uppercase, lowercase letters, numbers, and symbols, it will make computationally harder. So it is advised to use 12 characters and these symbols to create our password, because computer can process these characters and these patterns very fast. And while processing these characters and this passwords, it will also use the hash function that is used to save the password. Now, before I move on, let's understand how this login process works. So you enter your email, and then you enter your password. Now your password is sent in not in plain text. It is encrypted using an hashing algorithm, which is one-way algorithm. If you pass your password through that hashing algorithm, it will return text that is random characters, which cannot be reverted back to the password. So hashing functions are basically one-way functions. If you put a string in that function, it will give you an output, and you cannot reverse it back to the initial input that was provided for to the function. So what happens is, it will create the hash for your password, and then it will store it in the database. Now next time you will try to log in, it will use that same function to create that same hash, and then it will check against that entry in the database. If it matches, it will allow you to log in. Now what hackers do, they create these sequences of, like, let's say 6 A's together in a row, and then in next sequence they'll have 5 A's and then a B. So these kind of sequences and long list of passwords they'll create, and they'll try to use it with your email address, and they'll just substitute the password over here with this stream of characters that they have created, or the list that they have created. And every iteration, or every a new loop that it runs, it will move to a next sequence that is in the list. If, let's say, first it try with this a to 6 time, and then it has emails, and then it sent a request to the database server, it will create the hash, and then it will generate the check in the database. So if it is of 6 characters, it will be easier to crack for a computer. If it is of 8 characters, still it will be a little tougher, but it will be easy for computers. If it will be of 12 characters and it include all these things, then it creates a lot of combinations. Like 12 characters will have a lot of combinations of characters arranged in such a format that it creates a password. So it will be computationally difficult for computer to create all those possible passwords that you might have, and will create a very long list of possible passwords. That is why it is advised to use at least 12 characters. And we must change the passwords regularly, use a unique password for every account, and enable two-factor authentication for more security. So these are passwords do's and don'ts that we must do while creating a password. Now moving on to our next slide, which is how to make strong password easy to remember. Now everyone says the to create strong passwords and keep it for 12 characters long, but how to remember them? So we can remember them by using a passphrase. For example, create a sentence that only you know. For example, my dog eats pizza at 9. So this is a unique password uh, that only you know or your family member knows. Like, my dog eats pizza at 9, but your family member does not know that you have kept it as a password. So it makes it easier for you to remember this password, and it is a very strong password. You can also use an acronym method where you can use a acronym for as a password for a sentence. Let's say, for example, we have over here is I love going to Goa every year in December. So the acronym will be ILGTGEYID and then special character. So this can be your password, and it will be a strong password. Deliberate misspelling. So deliberate misspelling can also be a password where you can replace letters with numbers and symbols. So it will be a lot harder to guess your password, and it will create a strong password. Use a memory cue for your from your life, not easily guessed. You can also use any memory cue from your life that cannot be easily guessed, and it is very known to you. So that is how you can create strong passwords that are easy to remember. Now, why every password should be different? One reused password is equals to all account at risk. Attackers often use credential stuffing, trying known credentials on many sites. Use different password for email, banking, social media, and school portals. As I said earlier, that cyber attackers often use credential stuffing. So if your password is got leaked, then they'll try those credentials on different and many sites where you have accounts, and you are using if you are using same password, they'll get access to it. So use different password for email, banking, social media applications, school portals. Now, you can also use password managers to simplify your life and generate strong passwords securely, which will sync across devices. And you just only have to remember one password, that is, you have to use to log into your password manager. So some examples of password managers are Bitwarden, LastPass, OnePassword, and KeyPass. We'll go through a demo of Bitwarden, which is an open source and free password manager. I'll tell you how to create an account on Bitwarden. But before you, there's an activity where you have to create your strong password using a passphrase or acronym. You can share your password in the chat box where you don't have to include your personal details. It can be, for example, let's say uh, your name is Harry, and you lives in Delhi, and you goes to a school that is, let's say, you goes to a Kendriya Vidyalaya school, and you have to create a password for Harry. Now, what will be the password or a strong password that you will create? So the strong password can be like for Harry is, let's say Harry loves to roam around in Delhi. So Harry loves to roam around. This is an at the rate sign. Roam around in Delhi, in Delhi, with a number and then special character. So this can be a password for Harry.
Okay, sir.
So this was a password that Harry can use for his own. So before we move on, let's discuss today's assignment first. Build a password strength checker flowchart showing decision points to determine if a password is secure or not. So you have to create a password strength checker flowchart where you have to show decision points to determine whether the password is secure or not. And then you have to submit your assignment on this form. Either you can go through this link or you can scan this QR code to upload your assignment. You have to upload your assignment and then you have to close the window, it will not allow you until you have submitted all 10 assignments. So this is module 5 and you have to upload your module 5 assignment and then you have to close the form. So now let's start with the demo for the Bitwarden application or Bitwarden password manager, where you can create your account to manage your password, which is also an open source tool, and it also provides you extension. So you can go for Bitwarden, and then you have to go for get started for free, and then you have to click on personal, and then you have to go scroll down a little bit and click on create free account. Here you have to enter your email address over here. For me, let's say we have sh5@gmail.com, and then I sign up. It's up to you that if you want to have get the emails or marketing emails from this. You can click this checkbox, but I don't want that, so I'll click on sign up, and then it will send you a verification email in my inbox. So let me check and Bitward. So I have already registered on that platform. So after you get that verification link, what you have to click on that verify button, and then it will redirect you to a new tab where you have to enter your email address and create a new password for your account. And once you do that, you will be redirected to a to this dashboard, Well, let me share my screen again. This kind of dashboard you will be shown where you can create a new store new password by creating the new login password here, where you can enter the name for the password, and you can enter the username and then password. While entering password, you can also click on this button where it will show generate password. This will be your generated password. It will be a 14 length. You can adjust. Currently it is a 14. You can increase it. And if you want special characters, you can click here over here where you can set the alphanumeric characters, how many you want to include and how many of numbers or special characters you want in this password. And if you click on use this password, it will be copied over here. You don't have to do anything after that. And if you want to enter the website URL, you can always also paste it over here and then click on save. Let's do for one. Let's say you can save it for Facebook. And I don't have any folder created over here, so there will be no folder. Username will be, let's say, JDNSH5. And I have this password and I don't have any authenticator key. And if you want to create additional notes over here, you can create it over here and then you can click on save. Now this is saved and you can see it over here that it is saved over here. And if you want to import your CSV file, or if you have already stored password somewhere else, you can import it by using this import function. And if you want to export your password stored over here, you can do that by this export function. And you can also check for reports in this that if your password are breached, it will be shown over here in this report section. You can check with data breach here in this data breach option over here. It is provided by them. So this is how you can create your Bitwarden account, and this is the dashboard where you can save your password and use it efficiently. So now let's get back to our session after this demo. So now let's start with the quiz. Before starting with the quiz, do you have any doubts?
No, sir, no doubt right now.
Okay, so let's start with our questions. Which of the following is the strongest password?
Last one.
Yeah, last one is the strong password, as the first one is the basic 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and the second one is it says my birthday is in 1999. Third one is also used as password as a string, but fourth one is a string that is unique, that is time to fly at Mondays. Now moving on to our next question. Should we use the same password for multiple accounts to make it easier for us to remember?
Once.
Yes, we must not keep the same password for multiple accounts. Even if it makes it easier for us to remember, we must use different password for different accounts. And if we tend to forget our password, we must take help of password managers. Now, what is the recommended way to store our password securely?
Fourth one.
Exactly, in a trusted password manager. So we must
Is
not
the fourth.
uh, write our password in a notebook under a pillow, which is easily accessible to others, so others can also get access to our password, which is not a good thing. We must not keep our password secure in phone's notes app, because if our phone got breached or If someone get access to it, they can also read our notes. So it is not good to keep passwords written in our phone's notes app. In our email draft, email draft is the worst place to store our password. And in a trusted password manager, it will be the best place to save our password, because password managers store the passwords in encrypted formats. Let's move on to our next question. What are the minimum character requirements recommended for a strong password?
So can you please repeat the question once?
What is the minimum requirement of characters to create a strong password? The minimum number
Should
of
have special
characters,
characters and 12 letters, 12 characters.
yes, 12 characters, or you can say 12 to 16 characters is the limit where it is said to be a strong password. Now, why is it dangerous to reuse the same password across multiple platforms?
If the password gets hacked, then we should then they cannot have more data from different sites.
Yes, if the password got leaked, then our other accounts are also susceptible, because the attacker will try to stuff our credentials on different services. Now, moving on to our next question. What types of personal information should we specifically avoid using when creating a password?
Birth date, name, your year, personal identity.
Yes, name, birthdays, pet name, and date of year of birth. These kind of things that we must avoid while creating a password. What is credential stuffing, and how do cyber attackers use it? What is credential stuffing, and how do attackers use it? So, credential stuffing is basically if they get access to the credentials of one account of a person, they'll try to use those same credentials on different services. Let's say, for an example, they get access to a person's email address and password that is on Gmail. So that is a Gmail account. Now, what they'll do is they'll try to use that same Gmail account to access different services such as Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. So this is what is known as credential stuffing, where they use those same credentials to log into different services and gain access to account. So that is how they use this credential stuffing. Now, moving on to our next question. What are the benefits of using a password manager like Bitwarden or OnePassword or KeePass?
It helps to save our password from everywhere.
Yes, it keeps our password secure. We don't have to remember our password, and we just have to remember one password, that is the account's password, or the password that will be used to log into our Bitwarden or password manager's account. So these are the benefits of using password managers. So this is it. Now we have come reached to our end of the session. So before we leave, let's discuss the key takeaways from today's session. So strong password is equals to strong security, as passwords are the first line of defense for our accounts. We must not reuse our password, as it will make other accounts susceptible. Using password managers will keep our account secure and help us remember our password. Don't share or write them in insecure places, as from these places they might get leaked or breached, and we must change our password regularly. So thank you guys for joining today's session, and do submit your assignment on this link, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Yes.